Welcome everybody to Courier Prep Football Weekly. Alongside Erik Jacobsen, I'm Andy Rohr.
For those of you who have been following along throughout the season, you know the drill, but for those of you who are just joining us, we'll be taking a look at a game of the week this week, and this week that game is between Bartlett and St. Charles North. We'll also be getting to know a couple of players in the Faceoff.
And as we always do, we get Erik's picks at the end of the show on all the area's games. But first, let's take a look at this week's Game of the Week.
This week's Game of the Week pits two upstate 8 powers against one another, as 4-0 Bartlett hosts 3-1 St. Charles North.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure they look at us and we're in their way to be conference champs, and same with us. So we're looking to play hard and physical, and hopefully we can win by 1 point. That's our goal.
The Hawks are currently ranked 5th in the Class 8A state poll.
We have our work cut out for us, and we're gonna come out and play our game, hopefully, and we'll play physical like we normally do, and hopefully that'll get the job done. But they're definitely a good team, a good challenge for us, and we're looking for a good game on Saturday over at Millennium.
The North Stars, meanwhile, will be looking for some payback after last season's 36-6 drubbing at the hands of Bartlett.
You know, we told the kids at practice, this is why you work all year. You work hard in the off season. You work hard in the summer. You get here early in the mornings in the summer for games like this. And it is a challenge. Bartlett's a great challenge. They're picked by almost everybody to be, if not at the top of the conference, to be one of the 2 or 3 fighting for the top of the conference. And we felt we played good the last couple of weeks, but Bartlett's a whole different caliber. And so now it's a challenge, and now we get to judge ourselves against that different caliber. So we'll see what happens.
Now it's time for the face-off. This week we'll be talking with Bartlett senior linebacker Kyle Zielinski, St. Charles North senior defensive end Trevor Dunn, and St. Charles North senior Josh Forney. Hit me!
The one guy that I really like that plays really hard is Bob Sanders, Indianapolis Colts. I think he plays really hard and really physical, so that'd definitely be the guy that I'd say.
Not much. I like the Bears D-line a lot, but don't really model my player. I look up to them.
No, I don't really model myself after anybody, but I do look up to a lot of NFL players, like left tackles or tackles in general.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it would be Scott Van Pelt.
John Madden, easily, just because it's crazy stuff he says.
John Madden also, his video games, you hear him all the time.
I like that the fact that I'm in the middle of the field, kind of calling everything, and I like I like being in charge, but actually it's probably having a chance to make a play every time, and try to keep guys focused and everything. So I like that a lot.
You get to hit someone every play. You always get to hit the O-tackle.
Just going against the guy who's in my face the whole time. You can pretty much smell his breath every play. So
I'd have to probably say the Swamp down in Florida. Yeah, that or Happy Valley at Penn State. Probably Happy Valley, I like Big Ten better. So I'd say, yeah, definitely that. Because I've seen some videos of those home games when they're in a whiteout. And that's an awesome place. So
Soldier Field.
Soldier Field.
As always, we appreciate those guys for letting us inside their minds for a little bit in the face-off. All right, Erik, now it's time for your picks. Let's get started with the game of the week. St. Charles North traveling to Bartlett.
Yeah, heck of a game this Saturday at Millennium Field. You got Bartlett coming in number 5 in the Class 8A state rankings. St. Charles North getting a vote in the 7A rankings, looking good this season. I'll say this: I picked St. Charles North 4 weeks this season. I've been right the last 3 times. They're 3 and 4. The North Stars look very good on both sides of the ball, especially these last couple of weeks, some dominant victories. But I'm not going to pick the North Stars this week. I like Bartlett. St. Charles North's in the upper echelon of the upstate 8, but Bartlett's just that step above. I like the Hawks on both sides of the ball. They look very impressive, and I'm going to keep picking Bartlett until somebody knocks them off. But Bartlett's the team for me, and I think that they keep this dream of an unbeaten regular season alive here.
All right, should be a good one on Saturday. Elgin, then, they're going to be traveling to take on Waubonsee Valley.
Yeah, the Maroons just continuing to struggle here. They certainly have a lot of talent, but those guys are playing both sides of the ball. It's tough, really, for the Maroons this season. They just got to try to tap into something here and get going, but it's going to be a tough test this week. On the other side, Waubonsee Valley also struggled out of the gate, lost their first 3 games. But the Warriors came back with a big win last week against Neuqua Valley. And I like Waubonsee Valley to win here at home, take out Elgin in a home game for Waubonsee Valley.
All right, Larkin, then, they're going to be hosting Neuqua Valley.
Yeah, it's going to be a common theme this week. I got a couple games here where I got local teams. I think they got a shot for an upset, but it's kind of a tough call here. Let's take a look at this one. Larkin coming in 2-2, certainly playing very well this year defensively under Coach Matt Gehrig. Certainly a team that's capable of beating anybody on that schedule. If they play well and if the defense can kind of get to the top gear. Then you got Neuqua Valley. They're struggling. They're 1-3. They're very much looking like they might not make the playoffs this season. They got a really tough test ahead. They can't afford any more setbacks. This is a game where I think Larkin is perfectly capable of winning. However, I'm going to take Neuqua Valley. The Wildcats really need this game. They can't really afford it because they got a couple of really tough tests coming up. So taking Neuqua Valley, but I wouldn't be totally stunned if Larkin pulls off the upset here.
All right, and then the Fox Valley Conference Valley opener, Dundee Crown's going to be hosting Woodstock.
Exact same situation as that last game. Woodstock's coming in looking pretty good. 3-1. Quarterback Derek Brown's got that team rolling, but Dundee Crown's won 3 in a row. The Chargers, those 3 wins came against teams that are combined 0-12, so they still have something to prove. But they could prove it right here. That the Chargers are playing well. That the fact that they beat teams that haven't won doesn't take anything away. Dundee Crown's certainly capable of the upset here, but I'm going to take Woodstock. I just think that they're just a little cut above, but it's going to be a pretty good game. It's going to be competitive. And, again, I won't be totally surprised if Dundee Crown pulls off the upset. Going with Woodstock, though.
All right, then a big Northern East opener. Burlington Central going to be hosting North Boone.
Well, the Rockets coming in 0-4, certainly struggling. Young team, trying to make those, that first step here. North Boone, meanwhile, also a young team, a couple sophomores in the mix, and they're trying to, they looked okay this season, 2-2. They've had a couple good wins here. But I like Burlington Central. Get that first win in a pretty competitive game here. I just think that the home field is going to help the Rockets.
All right. Hampshire, then, they got their first win last week. They're going to be taking on Richmond Burton.
Yeah, this is an interesting matchup here. Pretty evenly matched teams. Whips looked a lot better last week. You can tell they're making some steps forward. This is a really tough call. Both teams coming in at 1-3. I'm going to take Richmond Burton for the simple fact that they beat Winnebago last week 21-0, and Hampshire lost to Winnebago a couple weeks ago. But Hampshire's certainly capable of going on the road and winning here. But I like Richmond Burton for the fact that they're at home and just the past matchups. So.
All right, then. St. Edward, they're going to be taking on Marion Central.
We'll go back to that category of teams, local teams that can prove me wrong, because I have a hard time. This is a tough pick here. I mean, Marion Central's always a powerhouse. 2-2 this season. They've dealt with some injuries, but they're certainly capable. St. Edward 3-1. They got a big win last week against Aurora Central Catholic. Looked like they're going to be in the mix in the Suburban Catholic. Kind of rebounded there pretty well. This is going to be a heck of a ball game, I think, over at Greg True Field. Homecoming for the Green Wave. It's a tough call. The Wave just haven't beaten anybody on this level yet, so I'm going to take Marion Central. But St. Edward's perfectly capable, and maybe they can prove me wrong, just like some of those other teams I mentioned before. But I'm going to take Marion Central, but with the caveat that we could see an upset here.
All right. South Elgin, then they got their first win last week. They're going to be traveling to take on Thornton Fractional South.
Yeah, I tell you what, I was impressed with the Storm on both sides of the ball in last week's win against Elgin. The defense really picked it up in the second half. The offense showed a lot of versatility, and I expect them to pick up on those gains. And this is, the problem is this is a long bus ride to Thornton Fractional South. They're going almost to Indiana here. Thornton Fractional South, pretty good team this year. They got a lot of athleticism. They're a good, tough squad. South Elgin, expect them to, for the rest of the season, they're going to hang around games. That win last week gave them some confidence, but I got to take the home team, Thornton Fractional South here. It should be a pretty competitive ball game, though.
All right, back in the UEC then, St. Charles East is going to be hosting Lake Park.
Yeah, Lake Park, they've been impressive this season. They knocked off Neuqua Valley a couple weeks ago. They're certainly capable of pulling off an upset, but St. Charles East, I think, is they're in that upper echelon on the Upstate 8 with St. Charles North and Bartlett. Those are probably the 3 best teams in that league. I like the Saints at home. Coach Ted Monk is going to have them ready to play. I'll take St. Charles East here.
All right, Streamwood then. Can they get that first win in conference? East Aurora is going to be coming in.
Man, Streamwood, the only team they beat in the past 2 years under Coach Cal Cummins is East Aurora. Certainly this would be a perfect opportunity. You can't question the fact that the Sabres are making gains from week to week. It's just a challenge. Their schedule, they had to play both St. Charles schools back-to-back. It's been tough. But at the same time, East Aurora has shown some improvements. Not only did they knock off South Elgin, they showed that wasn't a fluke by hanging around with Larkin last week. I got to take East Aurora here just because they've shown a little more the last couple weeks. But Streamwood is certainly capable of getting that first win. It'd be nice to see that happen, but I'm going to take East Aurora on the road here.
All right, Jacobsen, they're going to be hosting Cary Grove in a Fox Valley Conference Valley.
Yeah, opener for the Eagles here. A tough one, for Jacobs. Certainly 3 losses in a row. They really had a tough one last week against Huntley, 36-0 loss. Jacobs kind of licking the wounds there. You don't want to come off a loss like that and have to go up against state-ranked Cary Grove. I like the Trojans here to take out Jacobs. Cary Grove on the road at Jacobs.
All right, Huntley 4-0, maybe a bit of a mismatch here. They're taking on Grays Lake North 0-4.
Yeah, I tell you what, the Raiders certainly just looked very impressive last week. Anybody who hasn't paid attention to them should start now. Huntley's a top team, and they're going to be maybe a team to beat in that Fox Valley Conference Fox Division. This is their opener against the winless Grays Lake North team. I like Huntley here, no question. Coach Steve Graves said a couple things they needed to fix from last week. They weren't quite happy with the way they played. Might have had something to do with that strike, but expect the Raiders to come out hungry and looking good again.
All right, and then Genoa Kingston, another squad that's 4-0. They're going to be going on the road to take on Winnebago.
Yeah, Big Northern Conference West opener for the Cogs. They lost against Winnebago last season in a 1-point game, and Winnebago lost a bunch of guys from last season. The Cogs are looking great this year. Got to take GK. I like them to stay unbeaten. I mean, with them, Huntley and Bartlett, these are teams that there's dreams of 9-0 seasons here, and so I think GK is going to keep that dream alive.
All right, should be very interesting. Once again, thanks, Eric, for your picks. And as always, check out the Courier News on Friday for more information, game previews, and all of that on all the matchups. On Saturday, check back in with the Courier News for game recaps, as well as maybe a preview for the St. Charles North Bartlett game. And then on Sunday in the Courier News, a recap from St. Charles North Bartlett, as well as highlights on Courier News Online. And all weekend long, be sure to check out the All Around E-Town blog on Courier News Online, as Eric, myself, and a few other guys will be writing down our thoughts on all the area's matchups. And once again, thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week.